Hey, I'm Matthew Pfeiffer with mattpfeiffercoaching.com, and this is my YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in. And on this channel, I talk about all things narcissism. And I go through and I answer listeners' emails. So if you have a question that you'd like for me to answer on an email, answer on the channel, and you'd like to email me, make sure that the question is 2 to 3 paragraphs max, being very direct and to the point, so I can get through as many emails as I can. If it's pages and pages, I likely won't answer because I already read a lot, and I have other people I need to get to, and I have a lot of paid coaching clients that I need to take care of first. So that, once again, that is Justaskmatt at mattpfeiffercoaching.com is the email. And the fastest way to get in touch with me, if you would like for my help one-on-one, the quickest way is to book a paid coaching session at mattpfeiffercoaching.com. Again, that is mattpfeiffercoaching.com. Of course, all of those things will be in the description. And make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you can be notified anytime I upload a video. I upload a video 5 days a week, so Monday through Friday. And you can hear and learn about things about narcissism and how it affects and impacts people, and what you can do about it, how you set boundaries, how you move your life forward, how you can heal from narcissistic abuse, because it affects a lot of people. Workplace dynamics, and family dynamics, and obviously in romantic relationships as well. So with that being said, I'm going to answer this email. This is the first time that I've answered a family dynamic on this channel, and so this email reads, I hope this email is finding you well. I'm doing very well, thank you very much, and that you actually have an opportunity to read it. I found you scrolling through my TikTok. So for those of you who may not know, I do a lot of TikTok videos. It's one of my favorite platforms, and was hoping for some type of guidance. I have a narcissistic father who's practically ruined me emotionally throughout my entire life, and was wondering, how is it that a person should cope with that, or change that, and have it be so that I can forgive and move on, and move forward with my life. I don't want anything to do with him, which is the proper response. That's the proper, even with family, that's the proper response when someone is abusive, especially if they're highly abusive, like in this situation. But it hurts me so much, and I just want to forgive him so I can leave him in the past. I hope to hear from you soon, and so I can forgive, so I can give you details on my situation specifically. In this scenario, right, she's obviously looking to heal. One of the things that happens when you are healing from narcissistic abuse is you go through something called CPSD, which there's a lot of triggers that happen. It's very common. It's very similar to PTSD, but they are emotional wounds. So you start to have these triggers when situations come up, and they remind you of the emotional abuse that you went through previous. And I'll do another video on CPSD because there's a lot more to it than just that. But when we have these emotional wounds, and we have emotional triggers from the wounds, those triggers, what a lot of people do is they run from them. Those triggers are not our enemy. They're actually our friend. When we have a trigger, we actually have to embrace it. We have to understand it. We have to process it. We have to process why we are having that, right? So what we do is we acknowledge that trigger, and we acknowledge it. It's just like when a cloud is going through the sky, right? And you picture that cloud. Let's say that you look at a cloud and you say, like, hey, that looks like an elephant, right? And you say that that's the trunk, these are the tusks, those sorts of things. So you identify the trigger, right? And then you bring mindfulness into that situation. And what that looks like is that you start to talk to yourself about why you are triggered. What is it about this situation that is causing this trigger? And then you begin to discuss with yourself why you are safe and why you are not going to allow for these things to happen again. So the second part to this about the forgiveness is that forgiveness is a process. That's something a lot of people don't really talk about, is that it's a process, and you may have to forgive him multiple times. You may have to forgive him for multiple events. And it's okay to forgive him over the course of several months or even several years. You may forgive him one day for a specific event, but you still need to forgive him about some of the emotional abuse, or if he was physically abusive, you may forgive him about one specific physical abuse event. And some of these triggers and some of these emotional wounds that you are having, you may need to get help from a professional. And there's no shame in that. I do encourage you to read the book Whole Again by Jackson McKenzie. It does talk a lot about emotional wounds and how to process them. The other thing that I would encourage you to do is to get a good mindfulness practice in place, meaning that could be through meditation, that could be through journaling. And what you want to do is you want to get these emotional wounds outside of your body and outside of your head, right? Because emotions, especially when you've been in an abusive situation, we trap them in our body. They don't go anywhere. A lot of people, when they're in emotional abuse, in an emotional abusive situation, they hold on to those emotions and they shove them down, they suppress them. They don't go anywhere. The things that you were dealing with as a child are still there, so we got to get them out in the open, expressed. Right, and you can do that through meditation. You can do that through journaling. There's other mindfulness practices that a lot of people do, but those are two very popular ones that really work very well. That a lot of people I work with, swear by, and sometimes just getting with a therapist and having these discussions help as well. So. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Once again, I'm Matthew Pfeiffer with mattpfeiffercoaching.com. If you'd like to book a paid coaching session with me, go to mattpfeiffercoaching.com. You can always send an email if you would like for me to answer a question right here on the YouTube channel. It is Justaskmatt at mattpfeiffercoaching.com. And until then, I will see you then.